Hi everybody. Here's the game plan I'd suggest if you're going with the option of using a pre-appraisal and a real estate attorney instead of using a real estate agent. Try and get your landlord to agree upfront to the idea of basing the sale price on an appraised value of the home. You want an easy way to set the price that's fair for both you and your landlord. Basing the price on an appraisal also tends to lead to smoother, drama-free sales. If your landlord is a small one-house landlord, they might really like the idea of setting the price using a pre-appraisal. The biggest worry for small landlords who don't live and breathe real estate is selling too cheap. Using an appraisal helps protect your landlord from selling too cheap, and it also protects you from paying too much. Let's assume your landlord tentatively agrees to base the sales price on a pre-appraisal. You have a few options when you go the appraisal route. My favorite strategy is one I read about years ago, the split appraisal option. You and your landlord select an appraiser together, and then you split the cost of one. You can tell your landlord you'll do some research and then send the landlord the names of 3 appraisers that have a lot of experience in the zip code, and your landlord will pick one of the 3. I did a whole video on this, on selecting appraisers. Or perhaps, if your landlord insists, let your landlord be the one who selects the names of 3 appraisers, all with a lot of experience in the zip code, and then you pick one. Both of you would pay for half of the appraisal cost directly to the appraiser, so the appraiser knows they work for both of you equally. After you both see the completed appraisal and you both talk to the appraiser, you two see if you can come to a tentative agreement on price. If so, you move forward with the sale. If you get pushback from your landlord on the idea of splitting the cost of one appraisal, you might pitch the idea of getting 2 appraisals. In this option, both you and your landlord hire your own appraisers. The 2 appraisal option can work well if the appraisals aren't too far apart. If the 2 appraisals are close, say within 2%, you can just split the difference between the 2 appraisals and move forward with the sale. Easy peasy. But getting 2 appraisals does have some potential problems. If the deal falls through, you're out the entire cost of one entire appraisal. An appraisal might cost you $500 or more. The other problem is when the 2 appraisals are far apart on price. That probably means one appraisal is good and the other one is way off. In that case, you're kind of back to square one. You'd have to try and negotiate the price yourself, but that might be tough because your landlord will likely anchor on the higher appraised value and you'll likely anchor on the lower appraised value. If they're far apart, you would definitely want to ask the 2 appraisers to talk to each other. Maybe they'll get closer together on the value after they talk. But for sure, you'll know what the issues are and why the 2 opinions are so different. With either one split appraisal or 2 separate appraisals, I like the fact that the landlord has to invest some time and money into the sale up front. It shows the landlord is serious about selling. Both techniques can work well, but I like the one split appraisal option better. It forces the seller to work properly with you from early on. If you two can work together to get the one split appraisal done, you'll probably be able to work together on getting the whole house sold. Also, if the deal falls through for any reason, you'd lose half as much money on appraisals using the one split appraisal option. One more thing. If your landlord is a large landlord, they may just give you a price and tell you take it or leave it. They may not be interested at all in basing the sales price on a pre-appraisal. In that case, the first thing you should probably do is try and figure out if your landlord's price is even in the right ballpark, or if your landlord's price is a crazy high price. If you think your landlord's price is in the right ballpark, and you think you probably can come to an agreement on price with your landlord, then you should consider hiring a real estate agent to help you negotiate everything, including the price. Then it becomes like a normal sale, except that you're paying for your own real estate agent. I recommend you try and see if your landlord will agree to the idea of splitting the cost of one pre-appraisal to help you two determine the sales price. Pre-appraisals are a great way to protect yourself from paying too much, and they often lead to much smoother sales with a lot less drama and chaos. Okay, if you're now wondering how to even begin to approach your landlord with the idea of buying the place, the next section of videos is for you.